Welcome back, everyone. You're going to enjoy meeting our next guest so much, I promise. For starters, she has her very own comic character. She's also the author of 9 books on educational instruction. Her newest project is titled Teaching Garfield in the 21st Century Language Arts. The UNF literacy professor has been tapped to serve as a host and judge later this summer at the San Diego Comic-Con. So it's no wonder she's so popular on campus. We welcome Dr. Katie Monnin to the show.
Hey.
She's a UNF Associate Professor of Literacy.
Thank you so much.
This is
Good to
really
see
cool.
you. Have you.
Right?
I love the energetic introduction. So I'm ready to go.
You'll bring more energy.
Yes, I will, always.
We just need Garfield.
Yes.
Where's Garfield?
I
Right?
can get you Garfield. I can totally get you Garfield.
I mean, because now you're part of the cool crowd, like the cool Garfield crowd.
You know, it's an interesting situation because Jim Davis called me. I did not call him about 3 or 4 years ago, and he said, would you be interested in coming up here to do a little bit of a documentary thing? And I said, absolutely.
That's insane.
Who doesn't say that to Jim Davis, right?
Sure. Right. Okay, well, to backtrack a little bit, you've written several books on teaching through the use of graphic novels and
Yes.
comics. So can you quickly explain what's the difference between a graphic novel and a comic?
Absolutely. While comic books were being developed in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, a large group of people, pretty much the Marvel, DC names that we're familiar with, Stan Lee and Siegel and Schuster, all that stuff, were debating what should we call a comic book that adopts the literary elements of story and it operates more on a canonical level that we teach in classrooms. So it's not the superhero plot A to B type of situation. We have deep theme and setting and all those things. So they debated over the term for about 30 years, and then Will Eisner wrote A Contract with God in 1978 and called it the first graphic novel because it adopts more of the literary elements than just a plot-based story. So that's the difference.
And you do see it as literature.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is I mean,
Yes.
it's not. This is serious.
Yes,
Even though it's fun for the kids to study.
No, you're absolutely
Yeah.
correct because we're redefining what literature means in the 21st century. It
Yeah.
no longer means just print text literacies. It means a balance of image and visual literacies with the print text to create a deeper level of story. And that also relates to multiple intelligences. Kids tend to learn better if you give them many options for reading and writing.
Yeah.
So are you finding this more effective teaching graphic novels in class?
Yes, absolutely. I was hoping that when I wrote my first book, and it ended up being the case, so that was a good thing.
The very last words were, I hope.
Yes.
Now, which characters are you working with in the class, and what is it about this, this whole genre that really it reaches the students so well, do you think?
The characters I work with most in class are probably, I teach early literacy classes, so Garfield, of course, shows up as number one. He's being reinvented in the 21st century. He's going to turn 40 next year.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
I love
Garfield
it.
turns
no
40.
wrinkles.
Right. He turns 40.
Wow.
And some of the other characters are from a publication company called Toon Books. And Toon Books is founded by Art Spiegelman, who wrote Mouse, which is probably the most famous graphic novel that won the Pulitzer Prize in the early 90s. So.
What are some of the names of your courses, though? You've got some
Okay.
fun names, right?
Yes, teaching new literacies, and I have a book called that as well. There's teaching critical literacies, which teaching critical literacies means, do we just rely on print text anymore, or do we involve a variety of literacies and text? And then foundations of literacies and methods of literacies, and assessment with literacy. And if it has literacy, I've probably done that.
You're highly literate.
And now you've
I
got
hope so.
the literacy of Garfield, because
Yes.
this is, what is it about Garfield that we can actually learn from?
Well, in the early 90s, reading professors did a study, and they used Garfield to gauge whether or not kids were engaged in reading. So Jim Davis became highly connected to the literacy world, and we still use that assessment. So now that it's almost 30 years old, we are talking about reinventing that assessment, that literacy assessment, and building on it in a greater way, not just assessments, but literacy tools in the classroom that teachers can teach with, using the character to motivate kids with reading engagement theory.
Now, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Only a few people each year get invited to be a host and judge at Comic-Con.
Yes.
That's the mother of all cons in San Diego. That is
Yes.
the original event. It's so huge, it's so iconic. How did you get picked for this?
I don't know. I think someone was just following my books. That's what I heard when I asked that same question, how did you pick me? I thought the email was a fake out. 'Cause I literally almost fell out of my chair. But I did judge San Diego Comic-Con in 2013, and this year I get to host the Masquerade Ball. And they tend to have between 5,000 to 10,000 people for that. So I think I was chosen simply because I'm passionate. You know, I just really love what I do. I can't believe UNF pays me to go do this all the time. And I really like to do media things, so I put myself out there.
I see.
Now, is there anything that you're kind of, because obviously you're into like the graphic novels, which are stereotyped as geeky, even though they're not. They're just more creative than other books.
What happens is you're geeky when you're a kid, and then all of a sudden the geeks become the cool kids, the cool
Right?
adults.
That's right. The revenge of the nerd.
Yes, I am a revenge of the nerd. Yes, absolutely.
Then is there anything that you're looking forward to being, as obviously hosting and judging at Comic-Con, but as far as like what you're going to see there, because they've got all kinds of stuff from graphic novels to like the big blockbuster movies that are coming out this summer.
Is there? Oh gosh. Every year surprises me. No year at San Diego Comic-Con is the same. I think what I look forward to the most is also the enthusiasm of the fans. I mean, they are so into it and in the costumes, and they bring their kids, and it's a family event. I think that gets missed a lot.
Are you going to wear a costume? Or are you going to dress
You're going
up?
to cosplay, right?
That's what I'm judging, the cosplay event.
That
on
means that
Saturday.
you have to. So then you
gotta
gotta
do
cosplay.
Maybe. I'll go undercover.
If you do, you have to send us a picture.
It is nice though, because sometimes I have worn a costume and then I don't get recognized, so I can kind of enjoy it like a normal person.
Oh, funny.
So that's nice.
That's the best. All right, well, Dr. Monnin, you're not going anywhere because we have so much more to talk with you about, and also including the controversy surrounding this week's episode of Survivor and female comic book characters. So stay with us.